going on, guys? ¿Cómo están? BugaLuis here and welcome back to another video here on the channel. Today we'll be doing a recap of all the matches that happened and went on today of the Europa League. I'm gonna talk about all of them individually. I was thinking of doing separate videos, but I just thought at the end would be better to have all of them in one same video because, you know, I'm lazy and I don't want to do too many videos today. If you haven't done so already, be sure to check out my video on all 3 reasons why I think Barcelona got humiliated against Roma. I must stress this enough, humiliating defeat. We're gonna talk about the manager, we talked about the fans, the players, and also talk about Roma's side of things because we must give credit also to Eusebio Di Francesco, who did an amazing match with all of his players at his command. Just like always, guys, please remember to drop us a like, be sure to leave us a subscribe, turn on the bell notification icon, and follow us on all other social media to keep up to date. You get the deal, you know the drill, so let's get right into it. So we're gonna do this video a little bit more relaxed. I'm just drinking water while I'm doing this because I'm a little too tired, you know. And the Europa League today, I gotta say, was very fun. We started off with an amazing match from Marseille against Leipzig. I gotta say this match was out from the get-go just complete utter craziness, because in the very first like 17 minutes there were already 4 goals, even though one of them was disallowed, but still 4 goals, and it was Marseille who was winning 2-1. I gotta say that for this start, it was very nice to see Leipzig got the goal in the very first minute from Bruma. Then it was a goal from Sar, I think it was, from Marseille, or no, it was an own goal from Ilsanker, then a goal from Sar, and then almost a goal from Dimitri Payet. So I just knew this match was going to be absolute crazy because before coming into the Europa League, I just saw, like, before the fixtures, I wanna say, I saw all of the like results, and Marseille Leipzig was the only one who was like up there, you know, that could actually go either way. Atletico Madrid seemed already to be sentenced their game, something that was going to change, and then Arsenal was also very far comfortable in a lead with 3 goals, and then the last match was Lazio against Salzburg, which was another very interesting match. So the match against Marseille and Leipzig, I gotta say, was quite good. It was very good attacking football from Marseille, and I gotta say that Leipzig got completely demolished. They got smashed. You could say they got smashed. They lost 5-2, but even though just like 2 goals could get them back into the tie, but the thing was that for the very like first half of the second half, if you understand what I mean, Marseille just like tuned down the volume and just made this match a little bit more less intensified, so that allowed them to control the tempo much more of the game, and Leipzig didn't have enough ability within their ranks basically to turn this around, because even though they didn't start with crucial players like Timo Werner or either they were lacking another one, I'm not too sure who it was, but even though they didn't start those players, they couldn't just like turn it around, and that's something that you could say at the end of the day granted Marseille a very good advantage, because not only they were at home and playing that amazing 12-man card, they were also very clinical whenever they had the chance, and that's something that as Leipzig, even though they have a great attack, the defense is not too good basically, and Leipzig continuously wanted to hold on to that away goal that they had. Then the second away goal came, but at the end of the day they didn't really, you know, show the true Leipzig that we know from the Bundesliga, and Marseille just were able to score more goals than them and basically just run them out of the water and hang it out to dry. Moving on, we're gonna talk about the match between Arsenal and CSKA Moskva, because I gotta say that I was kind of feeling, you know, an upset. I was really feeling an upset here, not only because it was a very similar result, where it actually was like the exact result that Barcelona against Roma, so I was saying like, okay, I could see an upset here, but also because like they were at home, they were playing very good football. CSK, Arsenal were completely lost for the very first half, and absolutely they didn't do nothing to really bother Akinfev, and at the end of the day that's gonna cost you somehow. And that's what happened, because then they got the second goal really quickly into the second half, and Arsenal were like scared, you know. The comeback is here, and I was saying already to my friends and like what's up and stuff. I know many Arsenal fans are definitely gonna really, you know, criticize a lot Arsenal because they were not playing good in the very first half, but at the end of the day they managed to completely return and revert this result, which is not too easy, especially with going away playing in a place like Russia, which is very intimidating, and my god, it must be freezing. So we must consider that, and they played a good match in the second one, because after they conceded the second goal, and after like few more chances from CSK, they knew that they needed to do something really quickly. So I gotta say that we need to praise Arsenal for that, because they showed reaction, something that Barcelona didn't do against Roma, and that's hard. You know, sometimes it's very hard to try and react, and if it happens to players like Piqué, Messi, Suarez, Iniesta, Rakitic, then Ramsey, Iwobi, Welbeck, all those players definitely knows something. So we need to praise them for that, and I gotta say that Arsenal at the end of the day just did good enough to get through. In that first leg they were amazing, and in this one they managed to get a draw, so they are very comfortable now in the semifinals of this Europa League. Just as a side note, I want to say Alexander Golovin, oh my god, this guy is completely world talent. He needs to move right now from the Russian Premier League, because he's just not good enough for that league. He needs to find a better club, and he will definitely become a very good player in the next few years. Next up in the fixtures, we're going to talk about Atletico Madrid and Sporting Lisbon. I gotta say that this match, I was also kind of hoping Lisbon would beat Atletico Madrid, because at the end of the day, everybody loves an underdog story, and if you beat the favorites Atletico Madrid, then it's always gonna be quite amazing, similar to what we were hoping that Juventus would do yesterday because of that penalty. And yeah, so we're gonna talk about them right now. I gotta say that Sporting Lisbon started very well during the first half. Thankfully they got that goal at the end of the middle. It was the 27th minute, I gotta say, that goal from a corner kick. So it was, or I don't know if it was a corner kick or a free kick, I'm not too sure, but you know what I mean, from a set piece. So at the end of the day, it was Montero who scored the goal. Very good header from the Colombian or Argentinian. I'm not too sure, man. I'm not too sure, because there have been so many Argentine players and so many Colombian players in Sporting. I don't even know who is who. So yeah, so it was a good goal from the striker or the center forward. I'm making too many mistakes. So yeah, so after that, I gotta say that Lisbon definitely showed a little more promise in attack. We saw Gelson Martins just taking, completely handle of the attack. I gotta say that Martins was very good. And for most minutes, I gotta say in the second half, I thought that Sporting were more than capable to get a result. But then when Diego Costa got injured, he got a sprained ankle. He just felt it, It was an offside pass from Coque or from Saul, I'm not too sure. But then Diego Costa just ran forward. Even though it was offside, he continued running, and that's where he just sprained or pulled something, and he was taken off. After that, Fernando Torres and Niño Torres came in, and it was a good performance for him. I gotta say that he shares that similar quality and intensity that Diego Costa has, even though he doesn't have obviously the strength or physique to be able to do that. But Fernando Torres did good enough, especially in a chance where Coates was, almost needed to throw himself to the ground to try and save, because a very good overlapping pass to Torres almost made it a goal from Atletico Madrid. So after Atletico Madrid got a little more intensified, got a little more pressure, tried to get the goal, because they knew that if they get the goal, then Sporting will be in a lot of trouble, because they would need to score 2 more due to the away goals. In that sense, Sporting never reacted, and it was really quite underwhelming to see, because at the end of the day, I knew Sporting could pressure just a little more, try to bring someone like Dumbia even earlier, or try to incorporate people like Daniel Podense instead of Ribeiro, which I do not rate. I gotta say that they probably could have gone out with a result, and it just disappointed, because at the end of the day, you could see possibly the comeback. But when you want to come back a huge team like Atletico Madrid, you gotta believe that you can do it. And Lisbon, Sporting, I never think they were actually really, with that mentality. I think they never really thought that they could beat them, especially because of that horrendous commentary and I don't know, just criticism that even their president gave them the other day. If you haven't seen that, the president of Sporting Lisbon just completely went ham on the players on social media, just even criticized players by name, which is something you don't see many often. Not even media or newspapers do that. So yeah, it's quite surprising that the president of a club could be able to do that. So I think that at the end of the day was a huge matter in why Sporting weren't able to come back. They never really believed they could do it. So that's a very big thing, a very big obstacle and stepping stone in the in the way for Sporting to come back. And now finally we're gonna talk about a comeback who actually did happen, and was the comeback of Red Bull Salzburg against Lazio. It's quite surprising, this one, because Salzburg, they have been playing good domestically. I think they haven't lost a game at home for over a year and a half, something like that, something crazy like that. So I gotta say, coming to Europa League, seeing that same consistency being replicated is just something that it's really amazing, especially when you face people from the Austrian league and then come back to face people like Lazio. Then it's definitely gonna be a very hard task, and they even beat Dortmund, so you could see that they have a good defense, because two amazing attacking teams like Lazio and Dortmund, well, you have to be doing something right, haven't you? And they also do even better in attack, because they managed to score 4-1. They don't even stop at a 3-1. They went in to try and get another goal. So it's quite surprising they were able to do that. And that's the mentality, really, the mentality of never giving up, the mentality that you're never too small to battle any teams. Lazio, at the end of the day, were just completely overwhelmed, I think, by the attack of Salzburg. Salzburg played a very tight midfield with just a 4-1-2-1-2. So that never allowed Lazio really. They allowed Lazio to exploit the wings. That that was what I was trying to say. And then Salzburg just, whenever they got the ball, they got like quick counterattacking. They score a goal for Dabur, very good from Israel, I think he is, Hemer Dabur. And then many other goals. You can see the right back. So you could understand the retiring mentality. Their mentality was to counterattack and keep Lazio on the break, and that they did very well. And now I gotta say that Salzburg really looked like a good contender to win, because they didn't show many flaws. And if, for instance, Atletico Madrid meet Arsenal in the semifinals and you have Marseille against Salzburg, I could definitely see Salzburg going to the finals. And if we talk about, for instance, Salzburg trying to face off against Arsenal, I could also see them trying to go through. The only big obstacle would be Atletico Madrid, because I think Atletico Madrid are just that extra quality than everybody else in the competition. But Salzburg, I think they got more than enough to get the final, and I think they will do it. I think that Salzburg could beat Arsenal in 2 legs. I think as well they could beat Marseille, but Atletico Madrid, well, they're harder to decide against. So that's gonna be everything for today, guys. Leave me in your comments down below, who do you think is going to be the winner of this Europa League? Definitely it's gonna be Atletico Madrid, so let me rephrase that question. What do you think is going to be the final? Which 2 teams do you think are going to make it to the final? We're gonna know the draw tomorrow, if I'm not wrong, so I'm be waiting for more reaction, for my reaction in that one. And we're also gonna talk about tomorrow a very controversial video. I decided to make a video on whether the penalty of Benatia on Lucas Vazquez was a penalty or not. We're gonna talk about the arguments in for and against, but most importantly, this is not going to be me sharing my opinions. This is going to be trying to be more unbiased and really weigh both arguments to see at the end whether Juventus got robbed at the Bernabeu or whether Real Madrid got through by the luck of a very good penalty. So we're going to talk about that tomorrow. Just like always, guys, please remember to drop us a like, leave us a subscribe, turn on the bell notification icon, and follow us on all other social media to keep up to date. You get the deal, you know the drill. See you in the next one. Take care. Ciao.